Wow, we've just seen the SAG nominations for the 2019 award show. We're going to talk about the TV categories now in this slugfest. I'm here with Daniel Montgomery, Joyce Ang, Chris Beachum, Paul Sheehan, Susan Wloszczyna, and I'm Marcus James Dixon. There's a lot of us. Paul, I'm going to come to you first because we're noticing a trend here year after year. There's one network that seems to get way more nominations than anyone expects that it will.
You mean Netflix? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've heard of them.
Heard of them. Yeah. I mean, it certainly, in this instance, we talked about on the film side, we use that word overperformed, and I'd argue that it's just we're underestimating. But gosh, I don't think anyone was expecting, including herself, Julie Gardner, to be nominated for Best Actress in a drama series for Ozark. I mean, she's wonderful in it. She's up against Laura Linney, who is ostensibly the star. And that's just one piece of the network, the Netflix pie. I mean, they got not only Michael Douglas in for Kaminsky Method, but the show and Alan Arkin. And remember, with SAG on the TV side, it bothers me, but there's no such thing as a supporting performance on the TV side.
Yeah.
So, because Julia Garner is supporting on that show.
And Alan Arkin is supporting. And so what they end up doing is they bump out other people with, again, it's my little pet peeve. Gosh, what would be so wrong with giving out twice as many trophies on the TV side? I mean, then twice as many people could say they won SAG and twice as many people could say they were nominated, but they don't do it. So so you get people like Betty White winning, comedy
multiple times.
Yeah, multiple times, even though she's supporting. So Julie Gardner, all those people, both Joyce, you predicted this, both Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin getting in for Grace and Frankie. So how did you know that, Joyce? That
I actually took Jane out to put in Alex Borstein, and so it was a wash.
Oh.
I should have taken out Uzo. I wanted to keep both of them, but I didn't know who to drop, so I ended up dropping Jane. But yeah, I had Jane in there for. Yeah, I had her there for the longest time, but it was just they nominated both of them last year, and it was kind of they love repeat nominees and winners, so they just check the same names over and over again. They love Netflix; they're both on Netflix.
They love veterans.
Yes.
Those are. I think those are the big factors. Is Grace and Frankie and Kaminsky Method is they love veteran legends. And they love Netflix. So
yeah, and then the other thing is they like to make it up to you if they snubbed you the first time, like Maisel, who got 3 individual nominations and ensemble. And Alex Borstein, again, is supporting, and she made it in. So
Chris, you set up all these prediction centers. Boy, on the comedy side, you could have just put in a handful of shows and people, and you would have been covered off, Barry, Bill Hader, and Henry Winkler, Kaminsky Method 2, Grace and Frankie 2, Mrs. Maisel.
And those casts got in, so those people are all double nominees.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing you can say, SAG loves to do repeat wins, but the comedy side, Julia and Veep aren't eligible, and William H. Macy is snubbed, so we're going to have 3 new winners on the comedy side.
Wow.
I think they're gonna go to Orange is the New Black 2.0, and I think Glow is gonna win ensemble at least, since it's the hugest cast.
Maisel's got that locked up.
Oh, Maisel, maybe.
Well, I was trying to figure out, because we talked a little bit on the film side about the voting and why some things weren't in and out. So their voting started mid-November, and so we were talking about screeners that didn't go out until Thanksgiving or afterwards and how that might have hurt them. It starts mid-November, ended on Sunday. So Maisel just started streaming. I mean, I know these voters may have been given screeners in advance, but it just started screening on Amazon. Do you think that sort of last-minute voters had just watched Maisel and they?
I think they had just watched season 1.
Yeah, I think it's just they realized they messed up last year by not nominating them, and then it won all these awards.
They do this all the time.
Yeah,
where
they did it with Homeland. They did it with Transparent. Yeah. They ignore you the first year.
I will say, unlike our film discussion, which you can watch separately, Amazon did a good job. Tom's in the broadcast film critics, and so is Susan. And they got, I remember going into his office, and they got the Maisel season 2 screeners, and I'm sure the SAG Nomcom did too, way back early November, way before Thanksgiving. So they've had them a while, even though it's just debuting on Amazon this month.
And then Kaminsky Method just started streaming on Netflix in mid-November. So it was just the perfect time. And Michael Douglas is out there doing press for it. It's a great reminder. So what about the drama in drama? So what does
Ozark. They love Ozark.
Yeah, they really did. This Is Us could repeat, and Sterling could repeat, but Claire Foy's not available. She left the show. They changed cast, and they didn't have any episodes in 2018. So we'll have a new winner there on the drama actress side as well.
And the other nominees are The Americans, which didn't get any of the acting individual actors in, and then Better Call Saul and The Handmaid's Tale. Remember last year, everyone thought The Handmaid's Tale was going to win, but This Is Us pulled off that shocker. So maybe they're a year behind again.
I think they could catch up on Handmaid's Tale because they did get Joseph Fiennes in. And not only is he a supporting actor on that show, getting into that category, he's like the third or fourth supporting person on that show. It's such a female.
Nice things about you.
It's not that he's bad. It's that he's not as prominent as most of the women on the show are. So the fact that he got in over, in the category with just lead and supporting actors together, might be more indicative of the strength of The Handmaid's Tale than of him maybe specifically. Although SAG Awards do like him. I remember he got in for Shakespeare in Love at the SAG Awards, even though he didn't get the Oscar nomination for that.
I don't think he would win individually, but the name that's really jumping out at me on the individual side is Jason Bateman. He's got everything going for him there. No repeat. Sterling Brown is could be the repeat winner, but Jason goes back to Little House on the Prairie. I mean, you talk about a veteran actor who's been doing this for 45 years, and he's the only Netflix actor in that 5. That might be a really strong possibility.
It's sort of kind of under the radar. He directed quite a few of those season 2 episodes as well. So
he got an Emmy nomination for the first season for directing.
Susan?
Me?
Oh, yes, I think we cut you off.
I just am fascinated, and maybe this is something that Joyce will know off the top of her head, but that Emma Stone has a TV nomination and a movie, and then Amy Adams does, but then we have Emily Blunt in supporting and lead in a movie. So which is more likely to help which actress?
Like who would win what?
They all could win. Well, Emma and Amy are
in the same category for both.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think Amy's winning supporting in film, and she could totally win for Sharp Objects too. So they gave Idris Elba 2 in one night a couple of years ago. So
that's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah,
we had the Idris Elba example just 3 years ago.
So Joyce, I made the mistake when you wrote about this very subject at the Globes, and it was Amy Adams and Regina King were both nominated on both the film and TV side. So no Regina King for Beale Street, but also no Regina King for 7 Seconds.
I know, and that's
which is a Netflix show.
Yeah, that stings a little bit extra because she was predicted to get 2, and we were wrong on both.
3 if you count. Well, we weren't predicting her for ensemble, but she was right on the bubble for Beale Street was could have gotten in for that too.
It's kind of the opposite at the Emmys, where every year she would win at the Emmys and no one would predict her, and now we're predicting her, and now she's getting snubbed.
Oh, wow.
Well, to be fair, she could take her 2 Emmys, dual wield them, and impale some SAG voters, because they're much better weapons than SAG Awards. Although the SAG Awards are heavy.
For 3 Emmys.
3 Emmys.
Yeah, plus you can only quote 2 at a time. I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
I think when you've got 3, you can figure out a way. She's figured out a way to hold all 3. I'm sure.
You just put one underneath your arm.
Or wear it around your neck, and just the other 2.
But hands. That the actor, as it's called, the SAG Awards prize. I mean, that's quite hefty. I mean, if if whoever gets that, if they're dueling, I think that could take out poor Emmy. It looks like it's quite hefty. Hey, Chris, among the things that I think we've always applauded the SAG Awards for when it is the lifetime achievement, that they're not sort of as taken up just with film stars as the Globes are. The fact that this year it's Alan Alda is really quite special, isn't it?
It is for me. You know, over the last 10 years, they've done a lot of. I mean, Alan Alda's done a lot of films, but he's more known for TV. Same with several of the others that they've chosen in recent years. I like that. Their other element that they used to choose. Well, first of all, they don't ever choose somebody in their 50s like some of the groups we won't name. So it's always somebody in their late 60s, 70s, 80s. I like that as well. But they want an element of charitable, something that person is known for from a charitable standpoint. So I really appreciate that about Alan Alda. Throughout his career, was one of the first men standing up for women's rights way back in the 70s, and so I think it's going to be a really special moment. His father was an actor back in vaudeville and throughout his life. So I think that's going to be a fun moment.
And then, Susan, you wrote about the Oscars maybe going without a host. So I didn't see anything in the announcement today. I know SAG tried to host last year. Are they going back to hostless, even though it's the...
when did they announce Kristen Bell? I don't know, after the awards last year?
I don't remember the date, but it wasn't any earlier than now. It might have been here in mid-December.
And then right after that, they announced it will be all female presenters.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah.
Some big snubs were no Homecoming, no Westworld, no Pose, no Will and Grace, no The Good Place, no Black.
Well, Westworld did get the one for stunts, but
and that counts. Yes, that counts. But none of the
I'm surprised
actors.
about Homecoming. I'm really surprised about that, and not even just about Julia Roberts, but I sort of almost thought, could it even get ensemble?
Right.
We'll watch what happens if the Emmys really embrace it, then the SAG voters are going to come scrambling next year. Oh, we like this show too. Watch, we're going to nominate it a lot.
But Amazon got John Krasinski in.
Yeah.
They just really like John Krasinski and Emily Blunt. So it was a good day for their household.
Somehow got nominated on the TV side for A Quiet Place.
So it's interesting because, what film did Carol Burnett and Alan Alda play a married couple? Because they're both getting honorary awards this year.
Oh, you read Four Seasons. Yeah.
Yes, I love that movie.
He wrote and directed that.
Yeah.
Did you like the TV series?
Was there a TV series?
There was a TV series. They tried it.
I think I missed that.
They
weren't in it.
Well, I know this is a SAG discussion and it's TV, so it's way off base here. But you just said Carol Burnett. She's getting the new Carol Burnett Award from the Golden Globes on the TV side. They haven't announced the DeMille, which is film. How incredible would it be if the DeMille winner, the film side, was Julie Andrews, who is Carol Burnett's best friend, and all of the Mary Poppins Returns would have a big table with all their nominees there that night, and maybe Emily Blunt presents that award. I mean, that would be a perfect combination.
People watch these slugfests, Chris, so you never know. So anyway, so we're soon going to be able, we'll soon be able to predict the TV ones. Hopefully we'll do better with the winners than we did predicting the nominees.